guys, Arbiter GVADM here, or KG5IWQ, with a ultralite 2 pressure demand SCBA. For those of you who do not know, SCBA stands for self-contained breathing apparatus. This one happens to be made by Msa. This is basically what the firefighters use. It is a personal contained atmosphere, supply of breathing air. There's no filters in here, it's all compressed breathing air. Man, I'm out of breath, I don't know why. But anyways, a little bit of story on it. Why do I have one? Well, I thought they were kind of cool. I wanted to try it out. I'm somebody that just kind of gets stuff just to have it, I guess. But it has to be pretty cool, so it has to meet a criteria, and this kind of met it. For the price, I couldn't beat it. This was actually an eBay deal from a guy. There was a seller out there. I sold it, whatever. Great seller out there. Great, awesome service. This was $100. Yes, this was $100. $50 plus shipping. Shipping was $50, so $150 total. But this also came with a level A airtight hazmat suit, which is the one they use for chlorine gas and stuff like that. But anyways, let's get to this. So why do I have it? I bought this originally. I thought it was cool, and then I said, well, if I'm really gonna buy this, I need a reason to get it. No, this is just one of those things that's a little too extreme just to have. So I bought it, and my idea in mind was, okay, if something ever happens, the house catches fire, I can use this, I can throw it on, and I have trained myself to be, I'm able to put this on, turn the air on, and breathe. My fastest time is about 17 seconds, I think it was. So that's my fastest time. I think the firefighters have to be below 20, so that's what I was shooting for. And I'm doing this with a aluminum tank, which is 25 pounds. So I guess that's not terrible. Originally it came with a carbon fiber tank, but it was condemned. But anyways, I have this just in case, God forbid, something ever happens to the house. Carbon monoxide, house catches on fire, and I need to get everyone out. This is what I'll use. Now, that being said, my neighbor's house caught on fire, and I don't know if it was just right place, right time. I grabbed this thing, put it on, went and put the fire out, and they had two little dogs locked inside the house. The fire was on the outside of the house, so I went and then rescued the dogs. So, whatever. It worked, and I had it. Glad I had it. I couldn't have done it without it, so it's just one of those weird things to have that comes in use. Alright, but anyways, this is what it looks like. It even came in its own case, so it was an amazing deal. Okay, it's got instructions, we'll get to that. So this is the actual apparatus itself. That's the tank. That's the aluminum tank. Heavy. This is the mask. This is a very old model. This is a 1995 or no or later than 95. Yeah, this is a very early model. This is an early model. No earlier than 1995. So somewhere around there. People still doing fireworks. But anyways, this is the mask. So comes in the bag, and blah blah blah. This is the mask itself. Pretty simple. And this goes to the regulator. We'll get to that in a sec. This goes up. Electrical tapes just to keep it condensed, so that way when I close it, it doesn't munch on it. Your intake's through the pipe, obviously. And your outlet is right here. This is your outlet. This is actually a voice amplifier, and you can see that little gold strip in there, and that's a manifold for audio through your voice. Very, very good audio. MSA has always made great audio products. I can say that because I have seen a lot of different products they make, and this is by far, MSA has been the best one audio wise. I think they blow Scott out of the water, along with Survive Air. So great audio output on that one, and that's kind of important communication wise. And then here's the actual tank regulator, all that. I'm going to pull it out. This is kind of heavy, so I'm going to pause the camera and I'll be back. Okay, so here's the tank. Oh, man. This was actually in a video I had describing the tank and everything. This is an 1997 or 1977 tank. Aluminum. So I'm not going to get into that because I have a separate video just for this tank, but I put my custom little things on it. I put a reflective tape and number at the top. This one, 2216 psi, Scott air pack. And then I'm not using this for official use. I'm not using this. This isn't for an industry or anything. This is just for personal use, just in case like I say, God forbid, my house ever catches on fire. And when you are talking or referring to official use, the DO is a very, very, very big no-no through the DOT to use a Scott tank with an MSA apparatus. Let's say you're a firefighting branch and you want to save money. You already have a ton of MSA apparatuses, and then you found some Scott tanks for a decent price. They will not let you purchase those tanks. You either have to change all your equipment out or have to buy the MSA tanks. So yeah, that's kind of just iffy. And sometimes there will be the manufacturer on the tank will be different. What will classify it is the Msa Valve. And I'll show you what that looks like. I got a few up here. They're not that different working wise. This is your Msa Valve. I personally love the Msa Valve. I just like the compact of it, the way it looks, the durability. And it's got a big time bust or safety. This is what I call this, failsafe. I guess I call that failsafe. And basically what this does is if there's a person filling it up and they may exceed the limit, this will blow, and then that will allow the air to exit through the valve safely. In theory, I've never had it happen. I don't want to. But you can kind of see why I like MSA better. The blow valve on this is a lot bigger. You're going to be a lot more dispersed. A lot more surface area is going to be covered here. And yeah, you're going to be draining fast, but you're going to know what's going on pretty fast. So here's the Scotts. This is tiny. Tiny. I just don't like that. I guess for firefighters, if that does happen, I mean that's extremely rare, but if it does happen, you want it to be a low amount leaking out, so that way you can still have your air supply to get out. But honestly, I'd rather have that. It just seems a lot safer than that old thing. Oh, that's the gun, that's the air. But anyways, my favorite thing about the MSA valves, okay, it's this easy. To close an MSA valve, you turn it. To open an MSA valve, you lefty-loosey turn it. Okay, the valve is open. Shoot. Now watch this. Here's the Scott. To close a Scott valve, you push in and turn. Ah, man. Okay. And then to open it, you don't have to push in, you just open it. But you can see easily how easy that can get on somebody's nerves. Yeah, it's just I don't like this. I mean, yeah, Scott, I have to have a valve because it's for this. The MSA valves will not fit on Scott tanks, by the way. unless it's a carbon fiber, don't. I don't care if you're using official use, private use. Don't mix valves. Don't ever do that, because if you try to put this valve on this tank, what'll happen is you'll twist it on, and this rubber guard right here is going to hit the rim right here of the neck, and you're going to either bust an O-ring or you could possibly destroy the entire gauge. Both of these are working fine, so they're just kind of spares. God forbid I ever need one. But these are both 2216 PSI. SCBAs will normally run 2,216. Now the newer ones are, the newer / older ones are 4,500, and then the new state of the art are 5,500. And man, I think 5,500, that's an hour and 30 minutes, hour 20 minutes. I don't know. Firefighter could tell you more about that than I could. But anyways, I like the way that this opens up that way, and then this, you don't have to push this in or anything. You just open and close it. This one, you gotta go through all that trouble. That's just my opinion. It's easier for me, so whatever. And I like the way the MSAs feel, but I guess if you're in an emergency, you're not too picky, honestly. But this one is just kind of bulky and hard to work with. Anyways, back to the tank here. That's the valve I was talking about. We're done with that. Done with the tank. We have this is called, there's a specific name for this, but we're just going to call it the warning bell. There's a scientific name for it they use. Basically, this is the attachment, and this disc threads onto that connection right here. So, pretty simple. And basically, it's exactly the same theory. And then they all work the same. Oh, by the way, if you are wondering, if you have a Scott valve, an MSA valve, due to DOT regulations, the outflow will always be this size. They're only one size. If it is the actual SCBA kit, your connector for your regulator and all that will always be this thread right here. This size of this thread. Scott, Luxfer, Survive Air, I don't care what the valve is, MSA, all these are the same. And actually there's a lot of tanks, carbon dioxide tanks, oxygen tanks, all have this fitting. The only exception is the scuba tanks. They have that weird pressure contact fitting, which I'm not a scuba guy, I don't know too much about that. But the bell, when you pressurize it, the bell will ring. That lets you know, hey, it's being pressurized, just a warning. And then when you start to run out of air, the bell will ring, and it's a loud bell. You're going to hear that thing from a mile away. It sounds like a fire alarm. Kind of ironic. I'm not going to do it right now because it's 2 in the morning, but let's follow this guy down, and here is our regulator. Okay. Move the mask here. Once again, this is a very old piece of equipment, so it doesn't have a pass device or anything. It's all analog. There's no electrical circuitry in here, which is another thing I like. There's less moving parts, less things to go wrong. So, yep, this is the regulator itself. All the material to regulate is in here. This is your bypass. You open that up. Basically, this is your defogger. That's what I call it. When you are breathing here, you're fighting fire or whatever. I actually use it when I was doing it. Your lenses will fog up, and instead of taking your mask off and trying to clean that off, which don't ever do that, you just open this red valve, and that will throw air into your mask. It will exit the outlet by itself, but it will clear all the fog out, which is really cool. And I mean, all the new SCBAs come with that feature. That's like a given. This is a pressure demand set, so this pretty much limits your atmosphere pressure inside the mask, and this will increase, decrease it. I think that's fully increase, that's decrease. So that's what I know it to be used for, and that's how it works for me. So, and this is where the mask threads on, right there, and This little needle pushes it down to release air. But really, that's all there is to a MSA mask, or a CBA. I mean, this is your basic gauge. This tells you live measurements of what your pressure is. So you got, this thing will go to 33,000 psi, which is pretty cool. I have pressurized it that much before. Originally, this in the description is a 2216 psi pressure demand kit, but it will go up to 3,000 if it has to. And 3,000 is about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, probably 45 minutes for me. Simple. Throw it on, connect your mask here, turn the valve on, and you're good to go. You don't have to mess with any of these things. But yep, that's basically an MSA valve, or MSA SCBA kit. And if anyone out there is looking for something to keep in their house, they got kids or something, and they got a fire, or they're really worried about fire, hit one up. But I'm going to warn you right now, you got to be careful with this stuff, guys. This isn't something, you have to be knowledgeable in this before you buy them on eBay. And luckily for me, I have I have contacts. I know a bunch of guys that do these things. There's actually a guy, he's a firefighter, and he gave me his personal time to show me how all this works, and he went through it with all me, checked it all out. It's working good. So I guess in a way we kind of recertified it, and she works good. But definitely just watch out if you're gonna do what I'm doing. In other words, don't try this at home if you don't have resources to help you with this equipment, to maintenance it, to train you with it. It's very important to be certified with this stuff, because if you don't know what you're doing, yeah, let's just leave it at that. But guys, be safe out there. Hopefully you don't have to ever use it if you do buy one. I hope not. But this is KG5IWQ, Harbor G Vadim, signing off for now, 73.